Tommy Bridewell.
Yes.
How are we?
Yes, very well, thank you, David. How are you?
I'm not bad. You appear to be in your study with not books behind you, but wallpaper that resembles books.
No, that is actual books.
Is it their actual books, are they?
Yeah,
No.
look. I'll get one off. I'll get one. Hold on, where's
Yeah,
it?
you do that.
That way.
Oh, is that what you're going to get? War and Peace followed by a bit of Dostoevsky or something?
Yeah, shouting it. Now I just sort of make something different, wouldn't it? Put a bit of fucking wallpaper up. So yeah, that was that.
You got you and Stacey in the picture behind you.
Yeah, that was when we got married.
Yeah, I still don't understand how you did that.
No, she is lucky. So that black place, that's Scene Cleve. I can't say too much because they might still be after me. But
for what? Money.
We were letting fireworks off, and Martin Jessup, obviously, you know, from racing as well, he tried catching their ride on. He tried lighting their ride on lawnmower on fire, which is naughty, very naughty. And I did not condone that behaviour.
Oh, no,
but Martin, being Martin, he is a thug life. So yeah, he that's what he done. So yeah, that was that. But yeah, so no, all good really. Can't grumble.
What have you been doing?
Oh, training and training and training. Have you not looked on my Strava? No.
What have you been shooting more like?
No, I ain't.
Who have you been shooting?
Shooting, yeah, Christ. I'll tell you what, the way the world's gone nowadays, every time I look on Facebook, I'd be a very good special forces person for a sniper, and I must be honest. I could,
special.
Yeah, special force. I could clean up a lot of all this nonsense going on. But no, to be honest, I said it previously that I've been renovating a house, which I've been doing, which just sort of your kind of 9 to 5 standard thing. Well, most people's 9 to 5. By the time I get up and walk the dogs and get there about 10, and then I normally start getting a bit bored or well out of depth with what I'm actually building, and then I normally leave it about 1 or 2, and then come back. So no, I have been training a lot, but to be fair, not it's weird because with training wise, when you're training in a season, I train a little bit more specific. Whereas at the minute, it's obviously now we know what the new calendar is, so it makes life a lot easier. But it hasn't been easy because I don't want to keep cycling. I don't want to cycle every fucking day of the week. But unfortunately, between cycling and running, that's almost all I've been able to do. I've got a few little weights and stuff at home, but nothing like a proper gym or a swimming pool is what I could do with. But so that's about it really. And bar that, I was out on my practice bike the other day at Snettleton. First time back on a bike actually for obviously since I got back from Spain, and then that's about it, to be honest.
You did a lot of practice in Spain before the whole lockdown thing. Was that kind of a bit of a wasted now, or?
Fucking struth, mate. I spent a lot of money. Honest to God, right? I sort of, I'm never too proud, and I'm never short-sighted enough to learn. I'm not, all I want to do is learn. All I want to do is improve and better myself. So the bottom line is Scott come in the championship last year, and he did smoke us, but he beat all of us. And that was that. His preparation, he obviously likes to publicise a lot. And he was out in Spain a lot, practicing on the practice bike that PBM got him. In doing that, and I was like, do you know what? I'm in the gym or doing something like that, slugging me guts out every day. All I want to do really is ride a motorbike. And I thought, wow, sod it. So I got on the wheel. I bought a bike, a V4, and the team prepared it for me. And then I basically just went out to Spain on my own. Like, no one else didn't want to go with anyone as such. Obviously Dad come over and Stace come over to sort of do a bit and help and so on, but no one. You quite often see, well, what I'm like. I'm quite an independent keep myself to myself in the sense of within riders, I'm not the big mingler,
No.
because then I don't have to apologise if I wipe one out or they get all bitchy about something. So yeah, it was good. I went out. I done a heap of riding in Spain, and then we did go into the pre-season testing. Well, like really good, really strong. And then obviously this Corona business. But yeah, it is a shame because I invested. Like, I actually don't know the exact figure, but I'm not worried about hiding a rough figure. So I'm going to chuck a figure at you now, and I only chuck this figure at you to show to our viewers that you get out what you put in. So for me to go out to Spain on my own back and do what I done before pre-season testing, I spent around 28,000 quid. And that is including the bike, which I got a deal on through obviously Wolf and everything. But when you actually correspond that, I even think back now and think, fucking hell, that is a colossal amount of money. And I couldn't have done it without my personal sponsors and without the team in the team sponsors for supporting me doing that. But it was all the bigger picture. The bigger picture is to win the championship this year, and the bigger picture is still to do that. But obviously, we would have liked to have been on the way of doing that by now. But yeah, it's all right, isn't it? It doesn't matter. It's only money. Fuck it, can't take it with you.
No, you can't put a reflect on your coffin, can you?
No, exactly. So bollocks to it. Have a good time while we're here.
You seem to have got on and bonded with the team and Wilf in particular very, very well. And it wasn't a match that anybody thought would be made in heaven, because you don't mince your words. Wilf doesn't mince his words. It was, I thought this is going to be painful, but it was, and I'll admit I was pleasantly surprised that after 3 rounds you were still there and getting on well and riding really well, riding the best I've ever seen you ride. What is it that kind of made that happen between you and Wilf and the rest of the boys there and girls?
I think, I think there's probably a number of elements really. Element one was we need to make this work, because there's egg on my face and there's egg on his face as such, in the sense of they had just lost a rider, I had just lost my ride. I had a bit of a ropey few years with that year and the year before. I certainly didn't need to be joining Wilf in Motor Rapido to do 1 or 2 rounds, have a big bust up with Wilf. No, everyone would have known about it. Then next minute, that's my career over, realistically. So it was either career over or career regenerate, I suppose, or whatever the word is. But so there was an element of that, and then the actual truth of it is Wilf doesn't mince his words, and neither do I. I think in previous years teams have not understood the way I relay my data. Some crew chiefs get their ass out if I use a specific word to say what the bike's like. So if, for example, I cannot turn the bike, or the bike won't stop, or the bike won't do this, or that, I'm not going to come in and say, oh, damn, the bike's not very good. What does that solve? Like, yes, it keeps the team happy. Yes, it keeps the crew chief happy, but then we still don't get the results. So the way I relay my data is terminology I use is, if you hit your hand or thumb with a hammer, I'm not the sort of person that will go, oh gosh, that hurt. I'm the sort of person that wants to put the hammer through the window and swear like an absolute maniac. So when I come in and I'll say the bike's shit, for an example, because that is a word that I do use quite often, even still, Wilf understands that I'm not criticising the team. I'm not saying that the team are doing a shit job. I'm just saying that the bike is shit in this corner. Let's get it fixed. It's right. it's that simple. What I just don't understand why teams and crew chiefs don't or didn't ever understand that. Like, you know, they don't get it. They would rather pamper about in yeah. Unfortunately, and I'm not going to mince my words, there's a lot of massively prima donnaed mechanics and crew chiefs in not just BSB, but in the world of motorsport. There does seem quite a lot of them in BSB, and it doesn't help. It doesn't get results. And the good thing for me and Wilfie's is it's Wilf's team, so his best interest is to make the bike the best it can be, because it reflects for the result for me, the result for his team, and the result for his technical ability to set a bike up. And it just works. Like I say, I know a lot of people said, oh, that is going to be an absolute, you know, disaster, but it just works. The money that they invest into the team, I put the same effort back, and so do they. So what's not to work, really? If you have the same goal, I'm not money driven, I'm not anything driven, bar result driven, like, you know. Yeah. And it's the same as a team where some riders, if you said to some riders, right, you can have a new swinging arm, or you can get an extra £5,000 on your wages, the chances are they'll take that extra 5,000 quid. It's just the way they are, because they're always looking at that 1 year. I'm looking at, you know, this year, next year, results, and so on. So, like I just said, money's an object that makes the world go by or go around, and we all need it to survive. But when we're all 6 feet under, we're all buried the same, and we're all fucking dead. So that's that. Can't spend it then, can it? Amen. Praise the Lord above.
It was last season was your best season in racing by a long stretch of the imagination. Is it a combination of you, the bike, and the team, or more? You know, in your head, you've obviously known you can achieve that.
Yeah.
Have you just been waiting for the right bike and the right team to come along, and it all be in the mix together?
Yeah, exactly that. Because I feel that previously I've never quite had the whole package, and the problem is with not just BSB, but probably especially BSB, the way the rules are, does put a lot of the pressure down to the rider or the team to make the best. So if you've not quite got the best rider, but you've got a good bike and a good team, you're not going to get a result. Or if you've got a good rider but a good team but not a very good bike, you're still not going to get the result. So you have got to have everything. You like to succeed and to do well nowadays in BSB. A rider's superior ability still wouldn't be good enough to really be able to get the result. So yeah, last year kind of reflected our strong season down to having arguably the strongest bike on the grid, with one of the strongest teams and their technical ability to set a bike up, and me with a lot of self-belief and belief in the team. Was you know, it was always going to work. And I do also believe that there was a little element of PBM obviously being the team they are, with the success they've had. I couldn't let them just be 1-2 day in day out and me back in 5th or 6th, because it would have just made me look a twat, really. So to be fair to PBM, they didn't know it, but they're obviously, and they do still, they're the team that I'm most focused on, and they're the team that I'm, you know, pushed myself to beat. So yeah, that's it kind of all worked really quite well from that, to be fair.
You have this most astounding, I mean, all motorcycle racers have self-belief, we know this, but you've got the more self-belief than most people I know. Well, if that person existed, then yes. But you know, more self-belief than, because things have gone, you know, obviously your brother was killed, but you carried on and you carried on, and you had some massive knockbacks, and you carry on and you carry on. How do you do it?
I think it's like you said, it's not about it's, yeah, I guess it is, like you say, down to self-belief really. How do I do it is just the fact of putting the effort in, perhaps the work in, to know that you're good enough and you're putting in the right amount of effort to get the results back. It's a tricky one, isn't it? I don't quite know how to fully answer that question, because I think self-belief is something that you either have or you don't. If you don't have it, you can still be a good rider and make good results, but you get knocked very easily. I think self-belief is also down to, if you have a crash, knowing why you crashed, in bouncing back fast. You know, it's a tricky one, because like you say, I've been in some real shit positions in racing, in positions that I would never have dreamt I'd be in and never would have wanted to have been in. I feel like some of my downside was potentially never pushing myself to get or to try and get someone to help me, like a manager or something like that. I've always done everything myself. And for right or wrong, I don't know. I do look back and I think, maybe I should have got a manager now. But, and I don't say this in a wrong way, but I'm not, still sound bad me saying this, but I'm not your standard ass-sucking motorcycle racer. A lot of them will kiss ass to get what they need, or to get in the position they do, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just can't bring myself to do it. Like, you know, I just can't bring myself to almost, like, what's the fucking word? Degrade, I think. Like, we're all human. We're all on a level par. Like, I wouldn't meet a billionaire and feel that he's more superior than me because he's got £1 billion in the bank and I haven't. Like, you know, there's no different in us. So why, for example, why should the owner of HRC, let's say, why should he be any more superior than the owner of, you know, a small team in BSB? That it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. That's just my philosophy in life, or mentality. And for right or wrong, maybe I should have kissed a bit more ass, but I'm just not very good at kissing ass.
I'm not sure anybody would be queuing up to be your personal manager, to be honest. I think that might be a difficult job.
Unmanageable.
Possibly.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm very good boy. Very good boy. Yeah. But,
you have a very strong family. I mean, they're talking to Wilf about you, and he said that it's nice to have the Bridewells around because they're a strong racing family. A lot of team managers and team owners run away when riders bring a wife and a mum and a dad and a brother, but Wilf, you know, he seems to think that's part of why you are as you are.
Yeah, because the bottom line is, I believe, is, and this is where people go, oh no, you got to do it for yourself, Tom. You got to do it for yourself. Which I get that. I race motorbikes for myself, but I am driven to succeed for my brother. I'm driven to succeed for myself and for my family. So the money that dad and mum spent on me and Ollie to race a motorbike, why should they not, you know, be able to come in? It's still enjoy. They love racing motorbikes. So for me, you know, I like them there. And luckily for me, mum and dad also know that now I'm a big boy. I you know, they respect that I am to be left alone, let's say, in the garage. So I don't come in after you know, 3 or 4 laps in FP2 and dad's not stood in the corner sort of saying to Wilf, oh, the bike's doing this, the bike's doing that. Like, mum and dad literally walk about the track. They're floating in and out the pit garage. They never get involved with any remote conversations of when it comes to the bike. The bike setting and everything like that is down to me in the team. But when all said and done after it, then yeah, Dad'd come in the garage and, you know, chat away, and Stacey's always there. But again, Stacey, luckily for me, is the kind of person that is able to see that this is my job and something I've worked my whole life for. So I don't need anyone interrupting or causing me headache. Like you said, there's many of wives out there that team managers or team owners do stay clear of a rider because of that. And if I knew that, I'd be absolutely devastated, because I just wouldn't have it. Like, you know, I just wouldn't have it. So I feel like everyone in my corner, i.e. my family, knows the position of where I'm at. Like I'm at work, let's say, and when the job's done, then we can all mingle, but don't come in the garage, you know, talking when it's not relevant as such. Yeah, so I am lucky. I'm very lucky. Well trained, I suppose. Yeah.
This year is going to be interesting because it's short season, tightly packed. Do you think that isn't an advantage for you or a disadvantage?
It's like the $1 million question, isn't it? Because there's new. So Honda have obviously got a new bike. The Yamaha's a newer revised model or something. I think Kawasaki's got a little bit more RPM. Possibly, I don't know. Maybe they've got a little bit different engine spec or something. So there's the threat that they've had and got more time to keep developing stuff. I then heard on the grapevine that all of the Honda staff have been furloughed. So if that is the case, I was actually quite surprised about that, to be honest, because if that is the case, I don't know that for a fact, but if that is the case, I personally thought that maybe they would be thinking, right, we've got X amount of months now to really crack on and get this thing developed as fast as we can without it turning a wheel, which I know isn't easy, but it's still to some degree doable.
Yeah.
They would then be able to come out in a stronger position than what perhaps they would have if it was an original sort of season. But it also doesn't escape the fact of we've still got a good bike with a great team, and I feel good in myself. So they can come out as quick as they want. They're still going to have to come out very fast to beat us. And I don't say, like I said, I don't say that in a big-headed way. I just mean that there's a lap. So a lap time is how fast you can go around in a circle of a track. Fuck me, there's only so fast you can go around Alton Park, Brands GP, wherever, no matter what bike you're on or who's on it. And I got to be honest, I don't think I can go around Alton or Brands. You can speak to Josh. Brands GP last year was just ridiculous. The lap times we were doing and the pace we were doing every lap was just absolutely relentless. But it was down to I wasn't going to give up, and neither was Josh. You know, I kind of do feel like if you look at when me and Josh were out in front and gone, we were gone. So the fact of it is that the teams they've not got to catch up to beat us. They've got to catch up just to get a little bit closer to us. But I don't know. Anything can happen. You know, what's going to happen with the weather? Is the best of the weather been? Who knows? You know, it like I say, anything can happen. So I think it'd be interesting. I think that if I'm honest, I'm happy the showdown setup didn't go through. When it was put out there as such, I was quite a sort of for not having it, really, because it does give Hondas, Yamahas, and so on almost a little bit of a second wind. They might do, 2 or 3 rounds of developing and testing their bike. Then the championship gets sort of wiped relatively clean, and they get second wind of it. So I feel like it was the right thing to do to run it as a straight sort of 6-round championship on just your standard point scoring system. And then perhaps they might change something up for next year. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, it should be good for you and probably Josh, because you've got basically the same motorbike, same tracks, same data. A lot of other teams have got new motorbike, no data.
Yeah.
And a lot less free practice time to get it right.
Exactly that. No, exactly. The powers to be.
Yes.
Here. So that is the case. Now we've actually got a few bits on the bike that we've not tested yet, which I'm quite excited to have a good run out and see the difference. On a laptop or on a dyno, it's certainly a vast improvement, which is exciting for me, because is what we do as a team. It almost drives me as a rider, you see. If I see that the team like Motor Rapido do are permanently developing, you can't ever rest on your laurels, and we'll get caught with our trousers down if we're sat there all over winter going, well, we had a good season last year, well, we're fine, and then we come out the box this year and we're miles off. So the team are permanently developing, and I'm looking forward to almost riding the bike now, because out in Spain we had the same bike in the very similar setup to what we had last year. We kind of used Spain as a little bit of a experiment. We wanted to always go a little bit radical with some settings in geometries of the bike, but we just never had time in BSB. Kind of going back to what you said, with only now having one FP1 on a Friday, it doesn't allow new manufacturers, well, not new manufacturers, but new bikes to be able to go too drastic. You've got 1 45-minute session sometimes to make a change to the bike, take half hour. So you're really, the 45-minute session on the Friday is just almost riding, it's going to be in and out and that's it. But it'd be interesting, like you said, going back to me and Josh being on the same bikes and so on. Yes, I feel like obviously we've now got a few more bits in our back pocket that hopefully won't give us an advantage, but will make us that little bit stronger and see how we fare up for. I think there's obviously going to be a BSB test before round one, and then round one, Donington National. Hashtag lap record holder. Hashtag legend.
Is it going to make a difference to you that there's not going to be any? There may not be anyone there because we don't know what the rules are going to be yet.
No, it's an odd one really, because when the race starts, obviously you're in a world of your own, but when you finish, or I don't know, I feel like it will feel a little bit eerie, the paddock, I must be honest. The whole thing with our sport, whether you as a rider you like it or you don't, is we get, it's like a spectator sport, isn't it? So people come watch, they want to interact with the riders, and to be fair, 90% of the time I enjoy it. It's only when I'm having a bad day I want to lock myself in my motorhome. So it will feel a bit weird, because also on the good days when you're celebrating a win, it probably feels a little bit like you cross a line, and that's it. There's no one there, no one to celebrate or clap, or it's a bit of a weird thought really, because I don't really quite know. It'd be a bit odd, wouldn't it, really? Yes.
One other thing, you appear to have joined the new hair club.
Yes, but I've had it cut and it's gone like real curly at the front. Like one of them circular brushes. It looks like I've got one of them and like flicked it around the curl, like the thing.
Like curly combs.
That's it, yeah. But no, many of riders have had it done now. So Linney's had it done. Richard Cooper, I believe, has had it done. Jack Kennedy had one done a while ago. And team owner Lee Hardy, I believe, has had it done now. So
no, really?
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, he did ask me advice in Spain and said he was going to go and get it done. So be interesting to see what he looks like with his new Barnet.
Oh, we'll have to give him a ring and ask him.
That's it. Yeah, get him on the old Zoom call and just do an interview for his new hair. Yeah, so they took it off his ass. Yeah.
What are you doing anything apart from training and waiting for the season to start? What else do you do? You've got several dogs and bits and bobs.
Yeah, so I got the 3 dogs: Rex, Murphy, and Ted. Stacey's got 2 cats. They're nothing to do with me, so they're her 2 cats. They are to do with me because I still end up having to buy food for them. But I've never been a real cat person. I actually don't mind them, but she wanted cats, so that's fine. You know, you look after them. So they're her cats. And she's got a tortoise, which basically just walks around the garden all day. And that's that. So yeah, I sold my house, this house here now I've sold. Because I was going to buy a house near mum and dad. And I had a falling out with the estate agent, surprisingly.
Really? I can't believe that.
Yeah, because, now I'll tell you why. I'm not a fan of estate agents in the sense, now, estate agents that might view this, I don't mind you. No. I put in an offer on a property, right? About a week and a half it was before. So a week and a half, put an offer on this property, right? Yeah. Good, fair offer. Anyway, week and a half goes, still didn't hear nothing. Next minute, they ring me. And they're from a nice area down near us. And they said, well, we've actually had an offer. We've just received an offer a little bit more than yours. And my words were, I said to him, I fucking knew it. And he went, I beg your pardon. I said, all you estate agents are the same. I said, you're just greedy. I said, you can't accept a fair offer. All you want to do is play one offer against another offer. I said, so stick it. I said, take my offer off the table. I'll go and buy somewhere else. And that was that. So I was very cross, and they've still not sold the property. So I think they was just trying to chip me up. But anyway, so that's that really. And then been renovating the house and training, and yes, but nothing really more. It's been a bit boring, really, to be honest. Yeah, that's that.
Well, you've got a few weeks now to get fully trained, and you've got. Did I see you got a new push bike or something?
Yeah, from Merlin, merlincycles.com. Look at that, look. Ooh. Yeah, so sponsor I got supporting me this year is like quite a big cycling company. And I just fancied like getting a new mountain bike to get up over the hills, because around near me there's sort of some real good mountain bike trails. So yeah, just sort of thought I'd have a go at that. So yeah, been out mountain biking. You've got to be careful mountain biking though. Caught me shoulder on a tree the other day. Fucking stroof that hurt. But and then fell down a massive hill and then landed in a load of stingers. So it wasn't ideal. But yeah, so been out on that, and that's about it really. Not really much motorized activity, to be fair. Like I said, I was at Snet the other day on my practice bike, and that's been it. But luckily now the track days are restarting. I'm out on my practice bike quite a bit now. I'm at Donington Tuesday coming, and then I've got an Alton and Brands GP booked as well. We need to just watch the rules a little bit, because I think potentially there's a limit of what you're able to do or able to ride. So yeah, I know I've got four track days booked at the minute, which is probably all I'll end up doing. But I think that might be the limit of what you can do anyway. So yeah, and then like I say, just before the season start, before we eventually get going, just I'm trying to avoid licking shopping trolley handles if I can. Um,
No, that's something that you usually do.
Sometimes if I get bored shopping, yeah. So no, I'm not allowed to lick the shopping trolley handles anymore. So that's that. But yeah, so now it's all good really. So eager to get going.
What are your expectations for the year? Is this your championship year, finally?
Yeah, hopefully. That's the plan. That is the plan. I don't underestimate any of my competitors, and they're all very, very fast and capable race winners. And so the bikes and the teams that they're all with. It comes down to, again, like you said, a bit of self-belief, preparation, all that kind of business. And I feel like we're in a good position. So there's no reason why we can't win the championship this year, and there's no reason why we won't win the championship this year. It kind of boils back to it's probably going to be a bit of a dogfight, if I'm honest. I'm more than willing, and I have kind of resigned myself that I'm probably going to end up upsetting a lot of riders along the way. Because I kind of feel like sometimes I ride it not conservative, not even remotely, but I like to think I'm quite a clean, fair racer. But I feel like this year maybe it's going to be a bit more of a dogfight, and I'm just going to have to, make the pass, whether it's a bit naughty or not. And that's it, to be honest. Could make some good racing.